In the heart of Taidaza Kingdom, the voice of Dolibondo, the kingdom announcer, echoed like a thunderous storm. He was a man of great charm and wit, but his love for his flagon of Gog was legendary. It was a love that was about to lead him down a path of tragic misunderstanding. As the shadows of a strange illness fell upon the first prince of the kingdom, a sense of dread wafted through the air. The kingdom's healers were at a loss, their knowledge falling short against this unknown ailment. The king, desperate to save his son, decided to seek help from beyond the kingdom's walls. That's when Dolibondo was summoned. The king's guards found him in his usual state, intoxicated by his beloved brew. The task was laid before him, to find a secret healer for the ailing prince. Dolibondo, in his inebriated state, misunderstood the king's message, setting him off on a quest for a secret killer. As the sun rose, Dolibondo, still under the influence of his beloved Gog, began his search for a secret killer. His head pounded with the rhythm of the morning drummers, yet he pressed on, his duty clear in his muddled mind. His journey took him through the maze-like streets of the kingdom, past the bustling markets and quiet temples, into the shady underbelly of Taidaza. Dolibondo's reputation preceded him. His voice was known far and wide, and his arrival was met with whispers and sidelong glances. He encountered all sorts of characters in his quest: the cunning rogue with a silver tongue, the silent assassin who could blend into shadows, the disgraced knight seeking redemption. Each encounter, a testament to Dolibondo's dedication, despite his misunderstanding of the king's orders. Yet he was not a simpleton. He was a man of wisdom, albeit a flawed one. His love for the flagon of Gog was his Achilles' heel, but it didn't define him. He was a man of honor, revered by his people. He was a symbol of loyalty, a beacon of hope in times of despair. His was a voice that could inspire soldiers to fight and poets to write. But today, that voice was being used to seek a killer instead of a healer. As he navigated through the kingdom, his interactions revealed more about him. He was a man who carried his responsibilities with pride, a man who was willing to go to great lengths to fulfill his duty. He was Dolibondo, the voice of Taidaza, a man loved and respected by all. However, fate today had a cruel twist in store. As Dolibondo continued his misguided quest back in the castle, the prince's life was slipping away. The healers were helpless, the king was desperate, and the kingdom was on the brink of losing its future. By the break of dawn, as the bells of misery echoed through the kingdom, the prince was no more. In the somber silence that followed the prince's demise, Dolibondo stumbled into the king's chambers, expecting a reward for his accomplishment. The king's face was a storm of grief and rage, the loss of his son etched into his every line. Dolibondo, still in the haze of his drink, did not understand the gravity of his blunder. He proudly announced his success in finding the secret killer for the prince. The king's wrath fell upon him like a thunderbolt. "Healer! I asked for a healer!" the king roared. The kingdom's announcer, the man whose voice could be heard 1,000 miles away, stood mute, his mistake echoing in his ears louder than any proclamation he'd ever made. The guards seized Dolibondo. His pleas fell on deaf ears, his explanation sounding as nonsensical as his misunderstood message. The king's justice was swift and final. His once sweet wine, his beloved flagon of Gog, had cost him everything. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the kingdom was shrouded in despair and regret. The bells of sorrow echoed through the silence, a chilling reminder of the prince's untimely demise and Dolibondo's fatal misunderstanding. Once a beloved figure, the kingdom announcer's legacy was now tainted by the grave error his indulgence had led him to make. His fondness for his flagon of Gog had not only silenced his own voice, but had also snuffed out the life of the kingdom's only heir. The once bustling kingdom was now a ghost of its former self, the echoes of joy replaced by the whispers of mourning. Dolibondo's downfall served as a stark reminder to all. His story was a testament to the fact that unchecked indulgence can cloud judgment, distort reality, and ultimately lead to catastrophic consequences. Thus, we learn that indulgence, when not kept in check, can lead to catastrophic consequences. Choose your actions wisely, for they echo in eternity.